Hello guys, hello. Are you set for this fiery show today? It is going to be fiery because Benjamin is going to break down some of the grievous mistakes you are making as people who are dating and even the married. Guys, there is a certain piece that has been circulating on social media of a lady advising men on what they need to do to either take a leave and then lie to their wives that they have been sacked and see how they'll be treated by their wives. Very many people agreed to that. Today on this show, as you know, our dear viewer, the show has one objective: to make you make informed decisions and avoid going by the wind. You make informed decisions. Now today, Benjamin is going to tell you why it is wrong to carry out a loyalty test on your partner. Think about it as Benjamin is talking. Are we together?
And I like that. Bramwell, let's repeat again how the wise live. And when they're making any decision, what they look about. You always look at the finish.
Yeah.
Always when you try to do something on your spouse, ask yourself, how will it affect the finishing? Is it sustainable? So you may come here and pretend you're being sacked and pretend you have no money for 21 days. And then after that, what next?
What's next? Good.
Why are people so short-sighted? They are agreeing because they're only looking at the beginning.
Yeah.
What about the ending? Remember, once you test a person, you're also communicating you don't trust them.
Exactly. Yeah.
We always test where we don't trust. I want you to swallow that.
Yeah.
Number two, the rule of the thumb. Would you want it done to you?
The golden rule.
If they did it to you, how would you feel? Once you test the trust, make sure you're ready to let go of the marriage.
Yeah.
Where there's no trust, there's no point. Instead of conducting silly to fool me, treat me like a kid, pretending and seeing me go through anguish and agony and praying. Can you imagine me praying, God, my husband has lost that job, God help us. And you're lying to me. What is that? You expect me to ever trust you again? What are people saying? These are childish. I don't expect this among adults. Imagine me praying when you have lied to me. What are you doing to me? I will not only walk out on the marriage, I'll take you to court. I want damages for hurting my religious feelings and making me joke with my God. I'll get you locked in prison. Never try that thing on a thinking person, on a self-respecting person. Bramwell, the moment you realize you don't trust a woman, end the marriage. Are we together?
Yeah.
Don't conduct stupid tests on an adult. It's an insult, man.
Yeah.
It's an insult. Just tell her, I think I can no longer trust you, so I don't want to start doing these weird things here. Or policing you. I'm into your phone, tracking your car, tracking your conversation, checking this, pretending, listening to wicked advice. From, Amnon conducted a wicked scheme after advice from his cousin.
Yes.
The cousin advised him, the son of the king, why do you look sick? I've been crashing on this girl, although she's my half-sister now. I don't know what to do. Do this. He advised him, but Amnon did not ask what next. He did not ask the ending. How will it roll out? How will this turn out in the long run? Always ask yourself that question. So that thing about test your partner and pretend you lost your job is foolishness, cheapness. You can't do it on a self-respecting adult. You lose them for good. You can't trust me, leave me alone. Marriage is not a must. I was never called to be your partner. Not my assignment in life. Marriage is a voluntary partnership of two people who find it better to be together than to be apart. If you find it better to be without me, tell me. I'm here out of choice, not because I don't have a choice. Brahman never marry when you can't live without that woman. She will take you for a ride.
Okay.
She will take you for granted knowing you can't live without her. Never. And the moment a person starts to conduct wicked things, to be advised by other women out there, how to come and treat you, how to come and check this, press this button, see what he behaves, being advised by wicked women out there, the cousins of Amnon, advising you to come and do, and then you come do. The moment I realize it, I will correct myself for having mismatched with an idiot. I will not blame you. In fact, I will understand. But I'll be checking where are the houses where I can rent and move out quickly this evening, if possible. This evening. I'll be asking them, can I get in today? Brahmal, your respect comes from when people know you can't tolerate nonsense.
Yeah.
There's a paradox in all marriages, I want you to understand. You're committed to stay here for life, but they also know you are here because you choose to, not because you have no choice.
Yeah.
They know this is conditional on I respect you, you respect me, you love me genuinely, I love you genuinely. We are here as adults to respect each other and do our best to journey through life together, not mind games. Don't play mind games on me. And I told you to always compare people's presence in your life with your single life. So is this how you make? Without you, without this person, I'll be better. Thank you. I'll always compare your presence with your absence, not other people. The second thing about this testing people, because other people are filming it on video.
Yeah.
And it's this stupid group of under 25s.
It is all over.
Brahman, let me tell you something. And I want you to send this as an inbox to your sister. If you have younger sisters and young brothers, find a way to inbox it.
I will. I will.
You'll have saved them for life. I talk from the heart as if talking to my own daughter, my own sister, my own brother. Your frontal lobe matures at around 25. Frontal lobe is the rational brain, the brain that can think about the ending, how things play out over time. The brain that thinks about long term, thinks about full scale, matures very slowly. In fact, if you study psychology books, they say adolescence ends at 24. Many people call it adolescence. Others call it frontal lobe. Others call it amygdala. Others call it the rational brain. If you study psychology, and I'm trying to put it together in a book so that people can see it easily, the brain matures at around 25. If you Google where adolescence, they'll tell you all the way from 13 to 24. In reality, it's because the frontal lobe, this part of the brain, is maturing around 25. Before then, when you're 20, when you're 21, we are not condescending to tell you, oh, you're immature, oh, you're a child, you can't do anything. When you are 18, when you're 23, when you're 22, keep it in mind. There's a part of my consciousness that has not arrived. I can study, do my degrees, try businesses, but there's a part of me that I need to outsource. All right?
Yeah.
There's a part of me that is still very vulnerable. Which part is that? Emotional obsessiveness. Before the rational brain arrives, you're using the reward system. A brain that thinks, it's called middle brain or amygdala. It thinks, but it can only learn life skills. The reward system, it's limited in terms of self-control in love affairs. When things like love affairs, love is one of the strongest emotions we have to deal with. It cannot reason straight when it is caught up in love. So understand that and do the following to spare yourself. Now that you know there's a part of your personality, that frontal brain also gives you clear personality, clear standards for what you want. It gives you separate identity, individuation. Are we together?
Yeah.
Individual, separate identity from everybody. This is who I am. This is what I want out of life. This is what I can't stand. This is what I'll take. That one arrives 25 and beyond. People are arguing too much and confusing these kids. So before that time, do the following. When it comes to love, keep it at bay. Develop yourself, develop your career, develop social abilities, try business, grow yourself, go out there, develop yourself. You'll always feel a very strong emotional pull to people for no reason, just because you liked a certain element about them. They made you laugh or you spend a day. I told you a common thing to know your brain is not yet matured is that you sit close to a girl who dresses well at work or at church and you crash. I told you how many times I crashed on girls, me stupidly. You can't even remember her face, you just remember the body. Because she was sitting next to you and you go, oh my God, you're falling in love, you're falling. Nobody was there to tell me the psychology. Now I understand it. My mom gave me a very simple thing. She told me, every environment you go, when you go to a camp, when you go to events, to games, to a certain church, there's a girl who will stand out for you. And your emotions will crave for her. Do this, do nothing. Do what?
Nothing.
Don't ask for the number, don't start hugging, don't start chatting, no. And she told me, you will be surprised. You will, first of all, am I missing an opportunity? I'm falling in love? Should I get in touch? Should I? Told me, simply go on with your life. You will never remember her until the next one. You'll be, oh, there was another one, oh, there was another one. They keep changing because it's your systems growing. That is the only simple advice. She called it dodging. In basketball, in volleyball, you can either spike, hit the ball with force, or you can avoid all the defenses guys are put up and the conflict and pass it in a place where there is a gap. She told me, instead of trying to engage the love and try to control it, and try to contain yourself and dealing with it, avoid it. Tell these young people to avoid love relationships, and number 2, to avoid damaging their reputation when they are young, because they will need it for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
When you are filmed on video quarreling over a love affair that you've never been in the first place, over a relationship that you don't need where you're going, when you filmed and it is posted and people make money out of the drama, the views, the likes, the following, you help people make money as they film you while you are burning your reputation. You're the ultimate loser. Now you're too young to see it, but one day, 10 years down the line, when you're 32, you'll walk into an interview panel and it will be pulled out. Remember, your enemies will try to use anything to portray you as a bad person, incompetent. In every interview, somebody will not like you, brother. I don't want you to imagine you're so likable that everybody likes you. This guy looks so handsome. Somebody asked their person who they wanted to get it. And they will pull out questions. Is it you? Would you please, as we hire you as a customer relations officer, would you please advise us on what was going on here? Because we also care about your reputation and how you are viewed, and this is out there in the public. Would you comment about this? And it's something you are quarreling about a girl when you're 3rd year university, fighting over women. And here you are. You are now changed, but internet does not forget. The things that are filmed, are put out there, are permanent, brother. Your reputation is once in a lifetime thing. Your best wealth, brother, is not money, it's not the knowledge, it's not the genius you are, it's your reputation, your name, how you are known. Avoid, stay low key. Don't go to those scandalous things. Avoid those dramas. You had me regret to see a 19-year-old holding a microphone on national TV saying, we need men because 19. We need men to maintain a lifestyle on TV. Don't do that. Don't appear. Don't say things that, one day when you grow, about when you're 28 or even 30, you'll be embarrassed about who you are dating. Forget the fight now. All you are fighting over will be so shameful. You can't defend it.
Yeah.
Tell these young men and young women, your reputation is taking a hit. You're exposing yourself. You're caught up in emotions and anger and fight, and you think it's fun. These people don't care about you. They're looking for what people will watch. They're looking for what is exciting. These shows are all over the world. Some people are busted, others are trapped, others are struck, others are... And the guys who are filming are not part of you. They don't care. As long as you have allowed them, that's your problem. Brahma, tell our young ones, tell your own, the ones you care about, our followers, the one who want to help for the days to come. Brahma, you couldn't sit here if there's a video now of you on YouTube arguing with a girl 10 years ago in your second year university, them fighting over you. Even today, people will hound you about it. True or false? True. Today, Brahma, today. True. 10 years down the line, when you are second year university, there are women you are quarreling about, and it's very embarrassing and when it's trending. And people when they see you on Benjamin Zulu Show, they'll remember where they saw you last. Yes. Is this the guy? And then they leave the show to go. You get it? Yeah. Tell these women and these young men, one day they will desire to do something meaningful. It were better you kept, even if you are dating, keep it low-key. There's a reason to keep private. What people can't see, they can't hit it.
Yes.
They can't haunt you with it. One reason I want you to maintain a quiet life so that you can take your mistakes quietly. You can take your losses quietly. Okay. It's one thing to lose, it's another thing to lose publicly.
Yes.
When you're being filmed. Take your fights quietly. Whatever you're doing under the radar. Keep it under the radar so that you're able to forget it and conceal it for good. You've learned the lesson, forget on the details. Out here you come out in suit and perfumed. Good morning. We are here to present you our products. And there's nothing to be haunted about. Yeah. So that's the second reason. The first reason we said, when you test a person, you lose their trust. You thought you are testing their trust, and you're losing theirs. Yeah. They feel disrespected. They'll never trust you again. What if there are these girls who keep pranking the men that they are pregnant?
Yeah.
Let me give you the final medicine. The final. Others were preliminary. Women can only prank you with the pregnancy if you had the sex with them.
Okay.
I know you are looking for a way to whip her. You are waiting for... No woman can prank you if you never slept with her.
Yeah. By the way, that is common knowledge.
Yeah. So don't focus on how she behaved. You should correct yourself that you have mingled with an idiot. And you've planted your seed. When you sleep with a woman, you are giving her something to hold you with for ages. Be lucky if you did it and you got away with it. But don't get used to it. Yeah. My father used to tell me, a squirrel does not jump over fire because it has a long tail. After it jumps the fire, the tail will burn. Remember, if you have a future, it's a tail. To come later. Yeah. To come later. There's a verse that I found very intriguing in Ecclesiastes, one of the most philosophical books. It says, because the punishment for sin is not executed immediately, people like sinning. The consequences are not very visible. They come later. Yeah. Because the consequences for these pranks, pregnancy pranks, or what? As a man, the moment a woman pranks you, you have sinned twice. One, you're having premarital sex and exposing yourself to the worst kind of attacks and damage to your reputation, to your name, to your future. And number two, you got involved with a fool, an idiot. Anybody who pranks you like that does not deserve to be in your life. What if you're married? I don't expect me, I'm married, and my wife deliberately puts anxiety in me by telling us we have a child when we did not want it. Usually people prank you when they know you panic. If they know you're expecting or you're looking, they are not likely to play those kind of games. There's those kind of jokes among married people, like surprises or small pranks that bring joy. A true prank that should bring fun, to tease you, to jolt, not anxiety and panic and stress. That's not prank, that's disrespect, abuse. So what we are saying is this. The first thing is, if you test your partner, you lose them. Whether they pass the test or they fail, you have failed. In testing people's loyalty, it's not the student who passes or fails, it's the examiner who fails. Number two, these things people are saying, let me test and record it. As you ruin your reputation right now, you can't see it. You're too young to understand the consequences. But some years down the line, it will return to haunt you. When you have grown and moved past that, but people keep haunting you to put you down because you have so many enemies than you realize. Even the people who are recording you are not your friends. These are predators. They are preying on your foolishness to get a following and make money. The only person who cares you on this earth, generally, is you and your father and your mother. Generally. There are not too many. I wish to comfort you, but let me tell you some truth. The parent who gave birth to you, if they are healthy people, that is. We also know their parents are not healthy. Themselves, they have psychological issues. But let's assume it's a healthy parent. That's the parent who cares about your well-being. And Bramwell, when you are bored in Nairobi, learn to travel home and go lie down with your mother there. She's never bored with you.
Yeah, true.
Do you know I can just go home and lazy around? And my mother is happy I'm around. I have conversations, brother, to tell. Sometimes my life is not that exciting. I'm just home there, lazing there. It is so comforting when you know mom is not, there's no demands here, no pressure. In fact, she's just concerned whether you have eaten. Sometimes, brother, don't look for excitement in toxic places. When you want some relief, travel up country. Just go, I enjoy it so much, man. Sometimes you just get their mom and there's these people there. Of course, the people when they go home is not the mom they find. It's just, but the change of climate. You know, at home you can eat fruits without washing. And it's not risks, it's not dangerous. Yes. You pick it from the, or even when it's just falling, you enjoy, and there is no consequence. Here, if you try that, you'll end up on oxygen. The environment here is very polluted. Yeah. Over there, things are easy. You can take a stroll there. So instead of looking for excitement, entertainment by calling those, come here, I want to check whether this guy is answering this girl. Now, this is what she is. Go and track. This is the phone. Let's check. Let's ambush him. Let's ambush her. Instead of that, and you just wanted a change of, and you feel like your life has become too monotonous, take Eldoret Express. Go Express. So avoid putting things, obstacles in your life that will return to haunt you. Finally, let me finish before you bring your questions. Men. I found men committing mistakes that are so blatant and costly. I don't understand them. Ask brothers why they're doing some things that are so openly. There's one guy who told me he's the only child and the mother is a single mother. So he's the only hope of survival of the kindred. So obviously when you are alone and your mother is single and so she's growing old, she wants you to get married as soon as possible and bring children.
Yes.
So what he did, when he was around 27, he went married a 20-year-old girl. Why are men doing some things? How would you call a 20-year-old a wife? What are you thinking? He placed his entire life and his mother's health in the hands of a
20-year-old.
What is wrong? What is wrong, brother? You can tell her, I will continue with your college. Just come here as you are in college. You want your college. Another one migrated where he's working to go and live in a house, in a house near the girl's college to marry her as she goes to school. Now they are married. Another one told her to defy a semester so that they can marry first and then come continue studying when you are my wife. All these are 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. All the men come back. Like this one was telling, the woman turned so chaotic, disastrous. My mother is going down with diseases and pressure and acidity because of the stress. Myself, I can't sleep. And I'm asking, brother, shut up first. What were you thinking calling a 20-year-old a wife? She is yet to become, even looking at her face, you can see childness. So, Bramwell, when you're looking at 21, you can't see childness on the face?
A lot of childness.
Yes. What is wrong with men? But I told you what they are doing. They are fearing adult women because adult women will require certain standards. These girls are too young to know what husband is, wife is. They just flow with the feelings and you think you can mold her to what you want. Idiot. You can't mold human beings to turn to what they want. When you have to marry as a man and you feel like because of your threatened species. Some guys are behave like endangered species. Because you joined the police force, you fear you might be shot.
Yes.
You joined the army. You know the Kenyan army hardly goes to war. They go to war for other countries, helping missions. But the country itself is hardly ever at war. Why are Kenyan men so threatened? They join KDF and now it's panic. They must marry quickly. They must die in war. Which war? Kenya never fights in wars. When lastly was Kenya in war? According to your historical knowledge. Why are army men behaving weird? They are the leading group that marries nursing students. Where is the war? Where is it? By the way, you know, by statistics, they said there were some guys who went to, I'll take the statistics for you, but they went to war and they were safer than the guys who remained at home. The death through accidents, the death through other diseases was more than the death. Can you tell like our KDF guys, our army guys, our men in uniform, police, to stop being so panicky that they skip process just because they got admitted to an armed force? Obey the processes of your life. There's a young man in my family, extended family, who joined. And I warned him sternly that marriages of many military men is horrible. They're horrible. Because they rushed. The moment they got a job, hurry up my son, because now you have a job. And you know that guy, bring somebody who will take care of them while you are. And because they get there when they are 23. What is the age of the girl they will marry?
20. 19.
Why do you place your life on such a sinking sand? I gave him a very impossible task. Himself being 23, 22, I told him, because you yourself, who mature around 25 and beyond, the women you need to marry will mature at about 25 and beyond. If you must marry now, get me a 27 year old, 26 year old, 25 year old, I'll listen. Go get me that kind of woman. But of course, because of your ego, you're looking for the younger ones. So I told him, marriages of people who thrive, they must be done consciously. Remember what you said. We have a few outliers who might be 23 and they are already, because of the way they have grown and taught themselves for the last 10, 15 years. They have stretched their brain is like a muscle by gym. You cannot alter your time schedules in life, but you can arrive slightly earlier. Human development is scheduled. Remember that? Yeah. The biological development. Children crawl at around the same age, walk at around the same age, talk at around the same age, brain matures at around the same age. Why are people arguing over obvious things? So what you're saying is this. We have a few outliers here and there, and I found them myself, and I can see this one is an outlier. But there are so few, 1 in 30. 1 in 30 people. In 100, you'll be getting 3 or 5. Of all the 100 I deal with, by the time I meet one who's 23, right now there's a young man I'm coaching who's of that kind of outlier. He's 23 and already a multi-millionaire. Self-made, not inherited.
Look at that.
In college, he was trying businesses. In college. By the time he graduated, he had vehicles. Having built himself from onset. He runs a fleet of vehicles. And he's only 23 now. I'm so happy, man. Outliers are very refreshing to deal with. Because they are the makers of the economy. Even us, the rest of us who are not outliers, by simply being disciplined, you can have a very successful life. Outlier, I mean exceptionally talented, exceptionally gifted. People call them geniuses, but it's also because they're very driven. It's not even the brain or the talent, it's the desire and hunger. You know, you can make yourself outstandingly hungry and moving. Yeah. So, remind men to stop putting their lives on the line by marrying premature women who they don't know what they'll turn into. Yes.
That is it. Benjamin, right from the beginning, we test what we don't trust. And you'll realize, some people will argue that, Benjamin, the reason as to why we are testing is because maybe some of them have sent signs that they are not worth to be trusted. In such a case, what do you do?
You don't test, you investigate wisely. You conduct a kind of investigation that is justified in the circumstances. For example, I don't get into my wife's phone, she doesn't get into my phone, unless when she has a reason. If I were to give her a reason to doubt, to feel her instinct, she will quickly check to confirm, quietly in a way that I did not see. Do you understand? Or even if she was to ask for it, she's able to justify why she asked for it. If you suspect, you investigate either quietly or in a decent manner. Don't set up traps for me. And you can't justify them. There's a guy who got suspicions and he went and asked for phone records, communication records, because he had, and he told me I was prepared to present them to my wife. Even if I find nothing and she discovers that I checked, I'll tell her because of A, B, C, D. You understand? Yeah. And you kept denying and I could not find the truth. I met them, both of them, and I could see this man was very justified in what he did because he could see things that are not adding up, and you are denying, oh, he has fears. And they did not break up because when you investigate or conduct your checks in either quiet ways that will not later realize, I was just lying to you. So you would never lost your job. You are lying to me. That is not quiet. That is blatant and very offensive. You understand? Don't fool me so that people can see I'm being fooled. No. Remember, you could also be wrong. One reason you conduct quietly is because you could also be
wrong.
And when you discover you are wrong, you need to be in a way that you can explain yourself. Yes.
Okay. The other thing is, I only need to get married if I know that I can survive without the next person. Yes. That's what I've said. Now, Benjamin, with that kind of concept again, I am well equipped. Now I want to get married. I am getting into marriage knowing that I can do without this person. Therefore, that translates to be, it is going to create a pull effect, meaning that I am not obliged to give my 100% in it, knowing that I already know that once it doesn't work, I have the exit door.
Do you know, it does not even, in fact, it does not mean I come into the marriage with one leg. It means I don't come into marriage before I develop myself to a degree that I can contribute in the marriage and survive if you died. Sometimes you're not preparing for the person's foreplay. You're preparing for the unexpected twists and turns of life. You're preparing for the person's family refusing you sternly and overwhelming their daughter with harassment. And you find that she's dying with depression. she's not able to separate from them and tell her, instead of you dying, and I remain here with you dead, let me release you so that you may live. We are saying you're not coming here half-hearted. Brother, I'm fully committed to my marriage. Love my woman, I'm into it, man. We are doing life together. But at the back of both of us is to know I must fear cheating on this woman, lying on her, or pretending and taking her for granted, because she is not without a choice. She has chosen to be here fully, but if I were to mistreat her, she has the capacity to live without me. Did you get the balance? So it's not, hey, do this or I do this, do this or... It never even comes up in discussions. It's just a general knowledge that I had developed myself so that maybe I've studied, I have this skill, I'm able to work, I'm able to do this, and I believe myself. If I wanted to find, if it never worked and I move out there, I can always find another person. Have it together. That knowledge is very important to cause the fear of offending you, of taking you for granted. Without that fear, human beings have a tendency to, when it is written wet paint, they touch to confirm whether it's wet. Wet. Confirm, don't do this. So people have that tendency to do the opposite. In order to remain safe and to also give psychological peace in your mind, develop yourself to a level that you are competent as a human being to survive on this earth. And then find another with whom you are better with, happier with. But they also know they found you happy, you found them happy, you come to match your happiness with self-respect and knowledge that I cannot take this person for granted because they are well able to be happy without me.
You are talking about the law of the forbidden. Benjamin, you realize that again, some people have trusted the wrong people, making our trust to actually be broken. So every other person, even if the person is right or the person is good enough to settle down, they'll always want to carry out those tests just to clear their
If you have
doubts.
been betrayed in the past, deal with your betrayals. Don't come here to transfer your fears on me. In fact, how would you love a woman who keep asking you, do you truly love me? Surely, do you love me? Will you live like the other guy? You know, John said like that. You know, Davy also left. You know, Amosh was also here. You know, would you want to marry a woman like that? Thank you. Can you deal with your fear until you reach to a point where you can rest in love? You can trust I love you and rest in it. So if you have former issues, deal with them. Don't transfer them to this person and make them feel like they have to do extra to assure you. It means you are not yet healed. You are still bleeding. If you keep bleeding on your next people, you are likely to drive them away.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I like it. And that is why I love the example that I always give of a player on the pitch.
Yes.
You see, you are injured, you are still in the pitch. Instead of focusing on the ball, you'll always focus on your wound.
Exactly.
And that is the mistake that most people are making. Benjamin, I really appreciate that this conversation is actually clearing so many wrong things that people had actually been clinging to. And this is what some of the disadvantages that are brought by technology. People are using it in the wrong way. And that is exactly what we have on this session, my dear viewer. Thank you so much, and do believe that you've taken some of the things you are believing are actually interfering and breaking marriages that were meant to be. Just be intentional and be truthful all the time. Thank you for watching The Benjamin Zulu Show. Till next time.